here. There's chairs back there. If you need more, can always move the backpacks and sit there too.
It's it's gonna be, and it's gonna be really hands off. It's done, so it'll be like retire in 2 years and you're gonna have to.
Okay. Well, power to you.
If we can, well, by retiring, I mean, like, yeah, we can especially in this field. Never know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be retired. Yeah.
Shit. I won't even be 50, man. We have like our actual full plan worked out with like a financial advisor, yeah. As long as like nothing crazy in my life happens, or like I don't die or get like fired or anything.
If this thing takes off by like 2030, I think I'll be pretty on course. And I mean, if at that.
Not even accounting for this, as long as I stick to the plan we have money wise.
Yeah.
7 years from now, everything's paid off and I don't have to work anymore. Whatever the fuck I feel like. Plus 2 income properties. Yep. Except mine will be at Disney.
Mouse Lord.
Still just building up skills.
So you can just slide that backpack behind that chair if you want.
Actually, that backpack is over here. If by ship you mean leave some money. Fine. Cash. Dollars. Currency.
Told you.
Guess we're filming now, right? You hear me fine?
Yeah,
Audio
we're
good?
filming.
Guess no, maybe?
We're gonna have to check with Discord.
We'll find out, right? Yeah, somebody will yell at me if it's
Yeah,
not.
let me fire up
Here,
this
we'll bring this up a little bit just in case, because it's syncing. I got the magical syncing one again. Hi, hey, hello. Welcome out, everybody. Thanks for those watching on the stream. Got some fun little new intros you'll get to watch here in a minute. Get over some news, and then we will get to the talk with the man himself, Chris. Guy behind the camera, the one that makes you guys tune in, and the one that makes all the awesome art. News. Next week, GPG key signing party with Cochise.
Fuck you.
I'm trying to find new ways to mess your name up.
It's cock tease, right?
There you go.
Hold on.
Hey, he went there, not me.
No, it's
So anyways, GPG
I
party
used to
next
make
week.
jokes like that and get yelled at.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck you and fuck you.
This one's not live. So, yeah, that's next week. That'll be tons of fun. Come on, come hang out with John. Sadly, I cannot make it because I will be on dad duty. But that's happening. Other big news is workshops. If you want to get your Splunk on, you need to sign up for that one now. There's only a few seats left in that workshop. That is June 15th. That is Thursday from 1 to 5 p.m. right before Guild Night. So you'll already be in the area. You won't have to commute anywhere. Get out of work a little early, learn something new. If you've never played with Splunk before, that will be your opportunity to get that little checkbox. After that, 2 weeks later on the 29th, I believe is what that Thursday is. Someone correct me if I'm wrong there. But we have one from a company called No Name. It's on API security and automation. That one, the link is in the announcements channel now. If you haven't seen it yet, I pinned that post. The new registration link is there. For those of you watching online and following social media for that, it's not going to go out till next week. So you'll have to wait for that one if you're not a part of the group. After that, we have one more from Corelight. I have a fixed date at the end of July. Once it's validated and we have a link, I will give it to you guys. The other one that I'm excited about, and I know John is excited about, is July 14th. Guys from BC Security are going to come down and do a red teaming and APT kind of emulation workshop using Empire and some other fun stuff. That'll be happening. That registration link will come out here in the next week as well. So stay tuned, watch for that one. Did I miss anything? Prepper month next month. If you got something cool that you do on your off time that is not cyber related, that would coincidentally be helpful during a hurricane, a blackout, a zombie apocalypse, or any of the combinations of those things, let us know. Share it with your fellow members. That could make for a good talk. Last year's was pretty cool. We had one on making blades. We had one on pickling and canning. Did the radio stuff.
Yeah, we're doing more radio stuff this year.
Yep, we've got a pretty cool one. We'll let it come to fruition a little bit more, but we've got one event that's going to come up for you guys. If you don't have your ham radio license yet, you should get one. And if you want to get one, we might have an opportunity for you to do that here at the temple. That'll be during Prepper Month.
Free.
Yep, faux free. I think for news, that about covers it, right? So that's June, workshops next week. DEF CON, yeah.
DEF CON B-Sides St. Pete.
Yep,
So-
DEF CON. Buy tickets if you haven't already. A bunch of us are going. B-Sides St. Pete's happening in the fall. They are still looking for people to help with things. If you want to help, get in touch with the other third of the triumvirate. He will get you where you need to go.
Yeah, that.
And then,
Where the
after,
fuck is?
I meant you.
Uh,
He said he would be our night. I don't know.
yeah.
And then summer camp, 502 summer camp. You need to get cleared if you want to hang out and teach kids new cool cyber things. If you would like to do that, talk with us or talk with Dr. Fisk in the chat, and we'll get you sorted with 502 and get you involved with the summer camp. That's usually a pretty fun week. The kids are always super interested. They're always you learn more about yourself and what you know and what you're doing by teaching them and watching how they interact with it. They're inevitably going to break something you show up with, so it's interesting. And I think that about covers it. I'll give it to you. Let you talk about the nice new little designs people have been seeing.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of reveal the new Neon Temple logo. When did we do the first one? How long has this been going on?
A couple of years now.
Yeah. So the first logo came out April of
21.
Yeah. March, April of
2021.
Yeah.
So
Right.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, logo. Yeah. So yeah, a little while ago, the guys Trey, Tremere, John asked if we could give another shot at the logo. So we went through the process there, and we want to reveal it to you guys tonight. See if I can time this up.
Fake Jay was complaining. That kind of glitch feel to it.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, like, what was your creative process? Like, what went into you doing that and getting to that point?
Well, I mean, so for one, like, the first time around the logo was good. It reminded me of like a church, like a cyberpunk, like futuristic, apocalyptic, like church steeple. But like Trey mentioned, when you go to print it on smaller things, shirts, hats, whatever, like a lot of that detail gets lost, right? So that was the number one goal, is to have something that can be printed on everything.
Something clean.
Something clean, right? And there's a lot of trends going on with logos right now, and the monograms are kind of coming back. So I wanted to work that in, using negative space. It's there. You can see the N and the T, but it's not like in your face seeing it. So it just seemed to be the one that kind of fit the best. You guys ultimately chose it. So
It's got a little Fifth Element feel.
yeah, a little,
Yeah, that was exactly.
yeah, like the wind, right? Like the stones.
That was
Yeah.
actually what I put in the chat when he showed it to us
Yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, it kind of wins just because of that.
Yeah.
For sure. Sick.
So then, like eventually for like logo animations and things like that, there's a lot of cool things that we could do with lines that are growing and blocks and all that kind of stuff, kind of like puzzle pieces, things like that. So,
Just lends
I
to how
guess-
your art style is moving.
yeah, so since I already am speaking, I'm not going to introduce myself, but I am, so that I can fix the camera. I'm running the stream and talking tonight, which is the first time that I've done that, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me a little bit.
It's actually kind of interesting to watch this whole.
Today's episode, Being a Better You. In life, we must each deal with the hand we are dealt, performing our assigned role to the best of our capacity. But after total atomic annihilation, you may find the hand you were dealt has been reshuffled. Yes, gone are the simple days of yesteryear. Now the common workman must also be a covert operative. The farmer, a master of the martial arts. The ice cream man, a nuclear physicist. How will you make sense of it all? Simple.
How many hearts have you broken with those great big beautiful eyes? Those great big beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies.
How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me then?
I don't believe you mean it. But baby, kiss me again. How many hearts have you stranded on that dreamy road?
Yeah, so teasing it though, I think some kind of Fallout Wasteland theme is what I want to try to do for B-Sides St. Pete. But I might be backing away from B-Sides St. Pete. John, I'm telling you, I might be backing away from B-Sides St. Pete.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I might have to back away from quite a few things, which is kind of the reason for this talk. So we'll just get into it.
Let me see Wilson's watching the stream real quick. Fuck.
Well, no, the good news is they're not getting a new logo or anything this year, so it's not like there's a lot of heavy artistic lift.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton, right? But yeah, basically, I mean, I think I know pretty much everybody in this room. Have we met?
That's Lex Luthor.
Lex.
The only new is
I know you.
over here.
But what's your name? Jared, right. And then
That's Fred.
Fred? Shane. Close. And then okay. Yeah, so but for the most part, I've been around for a while, so most everybody knows me. But in case you don't, here's just a little bit about me. If you've met me since I've been in the Tampa area, it's probably through one of these kind of 4 entities. Ransomware is a small creative services company that I run aside from my normal job at the Ink Lab, where I'm a senior UI UX designer for Mission Systems. Neon Temple, obviously.
You put on a business card?
No. The Undercroft is something that
Whoa,
normally
whoa.
shan't be named, but I co-founded that motherfucker, so I'm gonna say that's where people know me from.
Well, is he gonna sue us again?
I mean,
Oh, he's gone now.
we never trademarked the name.
Yeah.
You know, contrary to me saying, "Hey, we should trademark the name."
I remember
So,
that conversation.
yeah,
too, and he's like, yeah, we'll get to it.
so and then B-Sides, I've been doing logo and branding for B-Sides Tampa for the last 4 or 5 years now. So, chances are, if you're in the cybersecurity and we know each other, it's probably where you met me from. Tools that I use to do my job, I think those are the best tools in my toolbox. I know you guys have a lot of tools at your disposal that you use at your job. That's how I make my money. I'm an expert or better at all of those things. I've been doing what I do for a very, very long time. That's me at 19, a young buck. Yeah, so that's a Super 16 film camera on top of Mount Rainier in Washington in April, where it's avalanche season. We decided for film school, we were gonna go and shoot some kind of mountain movie. That camera got broken. The film was all unusable. It was a terrible tragedy, but it was fun and it was a good picture. And then, just in case you're wondering, Monster Blue Ultra is my favorite drink of all time, and it's my luck that they discontinued it. So I'm putting the call out there. If anybody on Discord
Sam's Club, man.
Yeah, but then I gotta buy 12 white and 12 red, which I don't like, just to get the 12 blue. But if you're at a gas station or a strip club or wherever you go, and they have those there, buy them for me, and I'll pay you double what you bought them. So
Discontinuing the blues?
yeah, the only
The
one that
ultra
I
blue,
like,
yeah.
they discontinued.
Really?
Yeah. So you can get them on Amazon, but they're like $100 for a 24 pack. It's serious shit.
Double the 100?
No, if you buy them for 4 at a Chevron, I'll pay you 6, but I don't want to pay 100. So, all right. So before we get into the why, I just wanted to kind of put this out there. I know I've heard over the last 4 or 5 years that I've been hanging around you guys in this industry, I've heard the term burnout quite a bit. It's a real thing, but I'm not really sure exactly what that meant before I started looking into it. So I just kind of wanted to ask you guys, does anybody have an idea of what burnout is? In their own words, just,
Yeah.
you got the mic?
You? I thought I handed it. Oh, yeah, you. Don't I? Well, burnout is when you normally love doing something, but for some reason, just you can't do it. Like, life has just oppressed you to the point where, like, things you normally love doing are just inconceivable to do. I'll walk around to let all these
That's
other
good. Yeah, and I just
jabronis
I
run
really
their
want to
mouths.
just I'm curious just to get everybody's response. We only got like 12 people in the room, so go ahead. Start with Fake Jay.
For me, it's that point where I kind of hit like I'm shell shocked, where like everything is chaos, so nothing is important, nothing phases me anymore. I
Cooper's
just
color
kinda-
code black.
Yeah, just kind of tune out.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
Oh, yeah, for me, the only time I can remember being burned out, because I love what I do now, but is when you're just working all hours and, 12 midnight is not sacred anymore. Bedtime is not sacred anymore. It's you pick up the cell phone when it's not fun anymore. You can be being really good at something, but you're just like, you know what, find something else.
Yeah.
To be fair, we're hackers. Nothing is sacred.
Anybody else?
Nothing.
Anybody else?
Okay. Lex Luthor over here.
Eddie.
You don't get to touch the mic. You gotta have an EJPT to
All right.
touch the mic.
Eddie, just to clear the air. I don't know. I think I work a lot of different things. So I think burnout is when you don't have a reason to keep working as hard as you are working. So basically, you keep working, but your justification for it really isn't valid or isn't really there anymore.
Why'd you guys shave on there?
Well, because I didn't have time to every slide that you see, I did last night.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else burnout? I mean, anything. I'm really curious because it's not what I thought it was. At least the definition is not what I picture when
That's
I
where
hear
you do
burnout.
donuts in a Walmart parking lot, right?
Laszlo said when everything just starts feeling like a grind.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
Anybody else?
I was about to say the same kind of concept. It's like,
Who works at a donut?
yeah, possible. No, along the lines of like things that you enjoy just become just mundane. It's just like the same old. And that's when I'm burnt out. I'm like, okay, I need to do something different.
You start looking for something else.
Yeah, so like for me, before I started looking into this, somebody were to say that the term burnt out, I picture in my head like just not good enough to continue at the pace that you're setting, right? Like you failed. Like it was too overwhelming for you. You couldn't hack it. You burned yourself out. Whether it was you took too much on your shoulders, any of that. I looked at it in more of a negative way as far as from a personal standpoint. Like the person is not tough enough to like deal with it, so they get burnt out. Well, just in case you're wondering, the World Health Organization defines burnout as an occupational phenomenon.
So Xi Jinping, you mean?
Yeah, so I know this. I know this is small, but I know this is small, so I'll read it. But yeah, so International Classification of Diseases, and they say burnout is a syndrome conceptualized as resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. It's characterized by 3 dimensions. 1, feelings of energy depletion or exhaustion, increased mental distance or feelings of negativism or cynicism related to one's job. That kind of ties into a couple of things that people say, like you're just not into something you love, or you continually get more cynical and jaded towards your job. And then reduced professional efficiency, meaning like your production drops off, right? So I thought that was interesting. So now we kind of know what burnout is from a personal perspective, individual perspective, and from, the World Health Organization. So, we shouldn't question anything that they say.
I mean, based on that definition, I'm at like 2 or 3 right now. So
Yeah, yeah, I know, right?
it's getting kind of close.
I'm at like a default, at least one of those in any given point in time.
I love it
like,
how
just
it's
by
like-
default.
I could see all these like dudes and women in lab coats, and they're like, our job is to dissect burnout, and like the best thing they could come up with was like it's a workplace phenomenon.
That-
Like they don't even know. It's just like some mysterious thing that happens at work. Right?
That's like the World Health Organization trying to like explain and diagnose the munchies or something.
Yeah, like I'm expecting this like super like, oh, you're gonna call it a disease. Now I get to go to like a meeting for having burnout, but no, it's just a workplace.
My name's
phenomenon.
Chris and I've got the munchies. Sir, this is a Wendy's parking lot.
So, funny story. I fell asleep in a Wendy's drive-thru because of activities that I did in the Wendy's parking lot. So I woke up and I was like, "Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm at Wendy's." So I go to the drive-thru and I fell
You ate
asleep.
a lot of burgers.
And yeah, I woke up to people like honking at me, and so I drove away. That's funny. That was a long time ago, but.
You ever eat so many burgers you fall asleep in a Wendy's parking lot?
Yeah.
We all know that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was eating a lot of burgers.
Pretty much. So I got to talk about the reason why that I'm here today. There's been a tradition over the last 4 or 5 years that in December, it's kind of like time for Chris to give like an annual talk, right? It's slow. Everybody's like on vacation, so it's kind of hard to get speakers in like mid to late December to come talk to the group. And B, there's several subjects that I know a lot about that actually tie into the cybersecurity community, because I'm not a cybersecurity professional. I'm not one of you guys as far as like what I do in my daily job. But like the first talk I gave at the Undercroft was about counterfeiting currency, how I decided to do that so that I could buy drugs from drug dealers and not have to spend my own money. I just thought, hey, I'm going to counterfeit money. And then it became a little bit of an obsession, kind of mixing that art, Photoshop, Michaels, Joanne, Hobby Lobby like side of me and my drug addiction side of me all came together in like a counterfeiting like spree. And that was fun. That talk was great. There was a Secret Service guy there, which scared the shit out of me. There was the FBI. Stacey Aruda was there.
That's the last time we invite the feds to anything.
Well, to be fair, so before the talk, it's the first time I ever given a public talk about anything illegal, and there's the Secret Service guy from the Tampa office.
Invite him.
No, we didn't invite him. I don't know who let him in. And then Stacey Aruda, who was I don't think she was a special agent at the time, or she still might have been.
No, she retired.
She retired.
Yeah.
But allegedly. So
do they ever really retire though?
No, I don't think so, because Stacy and I have actually done work together since then. So it all worked out in the end. But it was actually pretty positive. After the talk, the Secret Service guy came up to me and said, "Thanks for omitting certain things," and it was cool because I knew what I had omitted and he knew it too, but no one else did. So I was like, yeah, I was on the right track, right?
For solidarity, what did you omit?
Just part of the process. Yeah. I really want to revamp that talk, but make it more of like a workshop, and I'm like dead serious about that.
Dude, that would be a good, like DEF CON would eat that shit up.
Yeah. Like I want to make it work. I want to go to Walmart.
Go to Walmart and get what?
Go to Walmart. It's a closed stream, yeah. No, but that's what I want the workshop to be. I'll go to Walmart. I'll spend $75. I'll buy everything that I used to buy, and we'll go through the process, right? We're not going to pass the bills. We're not going to like put them into circulation, but
you're not going to pass the bills.
Yeah. Anyway, so that fit right in with the hacker culture, right? I mean, was literally hacking currency. So I felt comfortable giving that talk. Another talk was about marketing and branding, and as you know, like everybody, I look around the room and I know at least half of the people here have side hustles and consulting gigs and small services that they provide as well as their main job. So having branding for your small companies or your startups, things like that fit in with that fit in with the community because a lot of people do it.
Can I ask an interjectory question?
Sure.
Like, how much would it cost for ransomware to do somebody's logo? Like somebody's watching at home, they're like, "Oh, I've got a side business."
Well, that's part of the reason why giving this talk. So like, okay, I'll tell you this. In a normal situation, if somebody wants a logo, we hop on a Zoom call. We spend 20 or 30 minutes. Usually it's Mia and I. You'll know Mia from Discord. We hop on a call. We talk about, your business, what you like, kind of try to hone it down, see if we're a good fit to work together. Because if you're not a cool person and I don't like the idea of your business, then I'm not going to do your logo. I don't care how much you pay me. So usually 9 times out of 10, it does work out. And I know having a set price list is okay for logo work, but I always take it on a case-by-case basis because it really depends. If somebody is starting a side business, there's not necessarily a lot of capital there to start up, right? If it's somebody in the community, somebody in the temple, it's usually a pretty good rate versus if a small business or a medium-sized nonprofit comes to me, then I'm going to charge them out the ass to do what I do. So yeah, if anybody listening, watching right now in the temple on the stream wants to have a conversation about a logo, just hit me up on Discord. We'll jump on a Zoom call. And at the end of the day, even if it doesn't work out, it's a free brainstorming session, and you'll have a better idea of what you're looking for at the end of that regardless. So, but yeah, so basically in a nutshell, the last talk I did was the art of piracy is kind of a, how to steal art and make it your own as a means to get into a creative space, not to like steal art, call it your own and sell it. But, so that was kind of like hacking art in a way. But to be honest with you, I'm running out of topics to talk to this community about. Like things that I do, if I'm going to give a talk or talk to you guys, like I want it to be valuable to you and what you guys do, or your hackers, your defenders, your blue teamers, your red teamers. Like you guys, what I do and what you do, there's not a lot of crossover. So I thought I was done. Actually, I when it was going to come time to give another talk or be asked to give another talk, I was going to have to be like, well, I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to have to say
To be fair,
no.
this industry loves you, and if you just did like a 2-hour talk on you just blowing vape smoke circles, it would pack the house.
Yeah, but it's got to be productive, right?
People would show up for that. They'd be like, yeah, right?
So I get that, but you can see like, okay, even so.
To you and your overworked mind.
Yeah, or even concept. From let's just call it a knowledge base, right? Like I get like if you're into something or you're learning about something, it's okay to give a talk and kind of get used to public speaking and all of those things. But if I take the time to give a talk or think about it or something, it's something that I want to like know everything about, and that list is dwindling because I've talked about a lot of what I know about. Until recently.
This actually spawned from a pretty interesting conversation we were having a few weeks back.
Yeah, so that's what it is. So basically, in 2017, I decided to get out of doing artwork and video and all that, and I decided to come into the cybersecurity field. I went to a boot camp. I met a bunch of cool people. I got a job, and as a SOC analyst, and I was ready to go. And I heard a lot of talk about, hey, like, it'd be really good for you if you got your clearance, right? Like, as being in the security field, a lot of people, people that have their clearances are in high demand. You get paid more money. And it kind of punched me in the gut because I instantly said to myself, like, I will never be able to get my clearance, ever.
Meanwhile.
Yeah, I didn't know. I've been arrested a dozen times. I've been in jail half a dozen times. All kind of substance abuse problems, all kind of illegal activity. So I'm thinking there is no way in hell I will ever be able to get my clearance. And it kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit. But after talking to my mom, moms always cheer you up. She's like, hey, you don't need the clearance. There's plenty of people that don't have the clearance. You can do whatever you want.
Most of them in politics.
Yeah, so so after a while, I just forgot about it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do my thing, and if it comes up, it comes up, but I'm not gonna worry about it. So I don't think about it for 4 years, I made a move back into the art side of what I do, and I didn't give it another thought until at work at the Ink Lab, we won a pretty big contract that I was the lead designer on. And then all of a sudden, they said, hey, everybody, guess what? You get to get your clearances. This is awesome. And everybody's like cheering and high-fiving, and like, they weren't. But in my mind, that's what was going on.
And so you just went back to your rap sheet.
Well, and I just had to like go back to my desk and say, okay, shit, like, not only is this not going to happen for me, but now I have to go and tell my boss, my CEO, like, some of this, like, I got to show her some of this dirty laundry in my closet. I didn't lie on my application. I didn't omit anything. Nobody asked me certain things, so I didn't answer, right? But now I feel like it's my obligation to say, hey, like, are you know.
Yeah, because you leading those projects, it could potentially interfere because now you can't monitor or stay on top of what your cleared people are producing if you're not in those spaces.
Well, yeah, and even too from like a reputational standpoint, like, I don't want them submitting me for this process and then like having all of this shit. Like I felt like they needed to know, so I told them everything I needed to tell them. They brought counsel in, they brought our legal counsel in, they brought third-party investigators in, they did all this like background stuff on me, and they said, you know what, like, there's not anything that we really see that's too much of a red flag, so let's put them forward, right?
That's kind of interesting, because like normally if somebody tells me at work, yeah, I effed up, I can't get my clearance, I would say, okay, have a nice life. But
Yeah.
like the fact that they were able to like go through all that stuff and like pull out all the stops to see if they could push you through, that right there is like,
Yeah, it made me feel pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Because like it's easy just to be like, oh, well, that's cool, like you'll work on these other projects that come in and we'll just have these other people on this project. But yeah, the fact that
they're
they
invested in you.
Yeah, so it did make me feel good. It made me nervous, but it actually was interesting. And that's where this whole, I know it was long-winded, but this whole thing comes in from that process that I was going through. I filled out the SF-86 form. It took me 35 hours to do because while my coworkers were like, how many countries in Europe did I go to? I was like, how many times did I get busted with heroin? You know, like it literally, like all of that, like it was crazy the amount of time. And so finally, when I was done, I was in here, it was Guild Night, and it was Trey, and I think Lesh was here, and I was just like talking about the process and talking about the parts with where it talks about drugs and arrests and all that. And Trey said, you know, I wonder what it'd be interesting to know like the numbers of like drug addiction, substance abuse numbers within cybersecurity, right? It was kind of like what the conversation was.
And that kind of tied into burnout because we're like, well, all of that's kind of together. When you look at other like high risk, high reward jobs, like people working in finance or lawyers and doctors, a lot of them, like they're either really good, really high producing, and they're on a lot of stuff, or every now and then you'll see the one or two that fail spectacularly.
Gloriously.
Yeah, and go up in flames.
Yeah.
So it's like you're seeing some of that kind of stuff similar here in this field, but it's not really talked about as much, I guess you could say. Like,
yeah.
There's movements. It's funny, like hearing that those things, like it is talked about, but he'll get into it later. Like finding those facts, finding like numbers and like research.
It was hard for me.
There's really not any.
Yeah. So that was like, well, good, and I actually want to know because I actually do want to know. So that like sparked something in me. I was like, oh, cool. Well, I know about like drugs, for sure. I'm an expert in drugs, and I know about burnout because I've been working like 80 hours a week for like 5 years straight, and I'm immune to burnout. So I'm gonna do this talk on burnout, right? And come from it like, you know, like I've got special endurance. That's what this slide is for. That's me. I got special endurance. So I was like, I'm gonna come at it from that point of view, and so I started going through the process. I started looking up facts, trying to find numbers, and Crypto, maybe this is where you can kind of like help me out. So I couldn't find a lot of numbers on drug addictions and substance abuse within the cybersecurity field, except for this one Forbes article about CISOs. Like, they interviewed 408, and like 17% of them were like using drugs and alcohol as a
Coping mechanism.
Yeah, coping mechanism, because their life is so stressful, which I'm sure it is. But that was it. Like, that's all I could find. I found a lot on burnout, and I'm not going to list a bunch of stats. This was the one that jumped out to me the most because it's fairly recent. And if you can't see because it's small, it says 84% of cybersecurity professionals in North America are experiencing burnout. And that's in January of this year, right? So that was interesting to me because the one thing I do know, as looking into this burnout and everything like that, is that burnout can lead to like substance abuse and drinking too much, or just addiction in general, right? Like whether it's gambling, sex, drugs, alcohol, all of that stuff. So that was kind of my mission for this talk, is to like find that correlation between high numbers of burnout in cybersecurity, and then what that leads to, or what that could lead to down the road, and then how to kind of avoid that, or at least see some of that stuff coming. That was the whole purpose of it. So, I got into doing a bunch of research, and this is basically where I pictured myself, right? Like, yeah, my head's great, my arms are working fine, I'm the best, I'm on top. I know everything there is to know about avoiding burnout because I've avoided it spectacularly for a while. And then when I started to like really get into what burnout is, started like looking at how I was feeling internally, how the rest of my life was going, like taking a step back, looking at everything, and I mean everything. This is a better representation of what my life is like right now. Like, I am 100% fried. I've neglected everything in my life, from personal needs to relationships to social interactions, and it's all revolved around work. And I've literally cut out every second of every day of time for me and dedicated it to either job number 1 or job number 2 that's got several jobs after that. So I really started to take a step back when things hit me. Like, I'm in the middle of like sitting down to start getting material for this talk, and I like look around my apartment. And has anybody ever seen the movie The Aviator?
Yep.
Yeah, like like when he's, I mean, not pee in mason jars like bad, but I'm talking like
do we have to clean the bucket up?
No, dude, but like complete and utter like disaster. And I'm like, in my head, I'm not a lazy person, and I'm like, everybody gets messy, but I'm not a slob, right? Like, why is my house a disaster? And it's like, oh, well, it makes sense. Like, I come home, I work, I get up, I work, I come home, I work, I go to sleep, I get up, I work. Like, and it's just a revolving door. And everything else in my life, including, taking care of my place, is falling to the wayside. It's just gone. It's not even a thought. Like, Mia was going to be here tonight and help me run the stream, but she injured her foot, so she can't be here. But I think Sal and John probably have known me the longest out of this whole like crew. Like, my hair has never been this long in my life, right?
It kind of looks Peaky Blinders-ish.
Yeah. And I get it. It's like, so that's why that graphic is pretty, pretty close. Usually I have a 1 on the sides, and it's pretty short on top. And I get it. It's like,
the beard too. Usually it's like stubble.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, oh, big deal. Like, oh, you haven't got your hair cut in 3 months. Like, oh, you're burning out, right? It's not the fact that I haven't got my hair cut.
It's one choice in a whole pile of choices.
I mean, to be fair, like, that happened to me. I looked up in December and was like, oh shit, I can put my hair in a man bun. I haven't cut my hair here.
I've thought about it, like, several times a week for 3 months. But the thought of that 45 minutes that it's going to take me to make a pit stop to like get my hair cut, when I could be like, okay, I got this project due, I need to do this for work, I don't know why, but I agreed to like do this logo for this nonprofit that helps starving kids for free, and I don't know why I agreed to do that, but I did that. I got this conference coming up. So like that 45 minutes, like I sacrifice it because if I fall any further behind on what I have to do, like the weight is just gonna crush me, right? Like and that's the point that I'm at, is that I have sacrificed everything that I can sacrifice in my life as far as like time that I could give, and I'm still falling behind in work and expectations and weight and all of that stuff. So it's getting to the point where I have nothing else to cut out. Like I you know, the last thing's like cleaning my place. Oh, the other thing was like, you know, I live alone, so I don't really do a lot of cooking, but I'll go get takeout like most people that live by themselves. I haven't ordered food and gone to drive to pick it up in like 4 months. It's been like Uber Eats. So like, and it to me it makes sense. It's like, okay, that 20 minutes that I got to call and then drive and then come back and eat, that's 20 minutes I can press order, work, get the knock, get my food, work and eat. Like that's my mentality, and it's terrible. It's not healthy, and it costs way too much, right? So it's some of those things that initially started to get me to think. It's like, wait a second, man, like where are you really at in this process? Like, you know, you're not living healthy, you're not sleeping, you're not taking care of yourself in many different ways. You're very antisocial, you are very isolated. So like, you know, instead of thinking you've kind of got this on lock because you haven't like passed out, like start looking at maybe some signs that you actually might be kind of experiencing this.
So we actually talked at this point, I think, right?
Yeah.
Do you care if I read that text?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So like, it's actually, this is a really good example of it, because I feel the same way there, and like me and you were kind of at the same point with this. You hit me up. I want to say this was probably Friday or
last
Saturday.
week. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, dude, I'm struggling pretty hard right now, and I don't know if I can do this talk. I feel like I'm probably actually pretty deep into a burnout phase right now. I didn't realize it. How can I talk about avoiding it and like good ways to cope if I'm not doing any of that myself?
It's very true. Yeah.
Yeah, like these are all valid questions, and I understood where you were coming from there. And you're like, I didn't see it until it was too late. Like I'm developing or trying to develop content, and how do I talk about this when I'm screwing it up myself?
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, I'm hanging on by a thread, and I'm way too overloaded. And from my perspective, what I've seen, and I think what actually helped turn this around for you is you did a little bit of self-care that day.
A little bit,
when
yeah.
you realized it.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I texted him when I was on my way to get a massage. In fact, I forgot that I scheduled this massage, right? Because they tricked me. Like, I have this, like, package thing, and they're like, you have 8 packages you need to use. Like, do you want to schedule? And I'm like, sure, whatever. And then if I don't use it, they charge it. So they, like, tricked me into taking care of myself, which I appreciate. But, so, yeah, I text Trey. I'm like, I can't do this talk, freaking out. I go get a massage. Then I actually start thinking, I'm like, it did make me feel better. Like, self-care is, like, great.
It's crazy what a shower will do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, dude. But then I really started to think, I'm like, well, okay, you know, that's okay. Maybe I still can do this talk, and I just can talk about some of the stuff that I'm going through, not from a, like, perspective of what to avoid and how to avoid it, just talk about some of the experiences and what made me actually think I was going through this process. And the thing that really kind of sold it for me, like without a doubt, was, and the other reason why I wanted this talk to be like unlisted instead of public. Normally I don't care even for certain type of content, but because I am in the middle of getting my clearance and all of that stuff, is that, so like a few weeks ago, I think it was like, I don't know, it might have been like right after I told you guys, like, you should schedule me for this talk, right? Like, I'm gonna talk about clearance and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. So after I scheduled this talk, I haven't really done any work on it. I'm working from home one day. I'm on a business work call, and I have like a 45-minute break between that call and the next call. So I go sit on my couch, and I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden the thought pops in my head, and it's just like, I'm thinking, like, if I was gonna go buy some heroin, where would I buy it? Who would I buy it from? And like, how long could I use until I was homeless and in jail, right? I started like thinking about that, but not in a like.
Are you about to announce a new TV series or something?
No, I started thinking about that, but not in a like a, hey, think about that as a bad thing to avoid.
You started.
I started like
how can I
like
make this
visualizing
happen?
it. Yeah, like planting the seed. Like what would that look like if I went down through door number 2 instead of door number 3? And to be honest with you, like, whatever I was watching then caught my interest again, and I didn't think about it until like 2 days ago. Finally.
As usual as you might think.
Well, it is for me in the sense that, so,
Intrusive thoughts are a bitch, man.
Yeah, intrusive thoughts are a bitch, but it was strange to me. It was strange to me because I don't really think like that with that subject, because I struggled with that for so long, and it's been 6 or 7 years since I've done any of that. And to be honest with you, I haven't thought about it. I thought about it maybe a handful of times at most, including this one. It's not something that I deal with on a daily basis. It's not something that comes up. It's not something I long for. And it was just so random, and that's why I dismissed it until I started getting this talk together. And then it kind of came back to me. It's like my brain is so overloaded that it's like hinting at me that it needs some kind of like escape or some kind of like relief, coping mechanism, right? And that's what really scared me. And that's what really like made me stop and ask myself, like, do I need to like change some things in my life? Because, I've been down that road, and I barely made it out off that road. I'm still paying for some of those consequences, even though my life is a million times better. I got everything back that I lost as far as trust and family, and that means everything. If I go down that road again, it's done. So even just, and I know how my brain works, it's like that seed mentality. And usually 95% of the time it works in a good way. Like you'll say something, or you'll say something, someone will say something, and it'll plant a seed, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I could do that for a poster, right? It's great, right? It's awesome. Like I would not be able to do my job if I didn't live by the seed, right? But at the same time, I know myself, and that seed, if it gets planted, is going to take hold, and eventually I'm going to make some bad decisions. So it's all about not letting that seed take hold. So that's what really made me take a look at this from an objective standpoint, kind of a fact-finding standpoint, not from a teaching standpoint, but just me, like, hey, okay, am I really burning out here? And this is kind of what I found out. Now, I put check marks by all the ones that I'm experiencing. Now, this is, they call it stage 1, the honeymoon stage of burnout, right? You're new at a job. Most people that are new at jobs like really like put forth the effort, but we know a couple people who don't. Anyway, so the honeymoon, the honeymoon stage, right? Job satisfaction, you love your job, you're accepting responsibility, you're accepting other people's responsibility, you got energy like you're 25, even if you are 25, but you've got like unbridled optimism.
Showing
like,
off, trying to prove
your
yourself.
company's the greatest in the world, commitment to the job, ideas popping left and right, you're productive as hell, right? Which the nice thing is I still, even though I feel like shit, I still put a check next to the ones that I still feel right now, right? Maybe I am in a honeymoon phase, but I've been at my job for like 3 years. Honeymoons aren't supposed to last that long, right? So I was like, okay, that's cool. Let's go to stage 2, and they call it the onset of stress, right? Now, CV symptoms, gladly, I don't have to experience those. I had to look it up.
What is CV?
I had to look it up,
Yeah.
It's something that women experience.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, CV symptoms. Okay, anyway. But inability to focus, irritability, reduced sleep quality, lack of social interaction, lower productivity, anxiety, avoidance of decision making, appetite changes, headaches, neglect of personal needs, and fatigue. So when I saw the stage 2, I checked probably about half of them, right? Like irritability for sure. Usually at work,
I would easily say a lot of the checks you picked are ones I would pick right now myself.
Yeah, right? And so, I mean, this is just the onset of stress. And I bet you every single person in this room has, and watching on the stream, has multiple of these that they could pick, right? But I started noticing, like, especially with, like, irritability, like, on, what's today, Thursday? So on Monday, you know, we use Teams at work, and someone was like, hey, are you guys coming to the meeting? And I was like, no, it got canceled. Besides, it was a waste of my fucking time, and I thought it was in a private chat, but it was in a chat with like 300 people in it. And I didn't know that, but like, even if I did know that, I still would have said it, because it's like, I'm over here working, you know what my workload is, you're still gonna like ask me to this meeting, even though I requested that it get pushed. But like, my CEO called me and I thought I was gonna get fired. But she was just like, what's going on? And I had to like say, like, honestly, I don't know what triggered that kind of like response. Like, that was like totally over the top, unprofessional. I made the person I really actually like at work feel like shit, like I attacked them. So like, this irritability, yes, it can be minor, but I've seen a big spike in how irritated I get and how quickly I go from like 0 to 10.
That's a really interesting one to talk about, because it's the exact opposite for me. And it kind of follows that whole like old school military mentality where like, if they're not bitching about something is wrong, is the typical mindset.
I hear that. Yeah.
And that's very true with me. If I'm complaining, if I'm talking to you, I'm okay. I might be a little stressed, but I'm okay. If I'm able to bitch about it, there's not an issue. If I go internal, if I stop talking to you, if I stop talking in general, I'm just
shut down.
Yeah, then there's a fucking problem at that point.
That's military. I mean, you and I have heard that term before, going internal, and then phase 3, like, because you and I are the same in that matter. Like, if I get belligerent, like, if I'm like fake happy, if I'm like fake hyped up and just getting totally belligerent, it's like, okay, you need to call the chaplain.
Yeah, so I know that it can go multiple ways. Reduced sleep quality, it's hard for me to say because I don't...
You'd have to sleep, yeah.
I have to sleep in general. I mean, a lot of our conversations happen like after 1 a.m.
2, 3 in the morning,
Like, hey, I'm working. Headaches, I noticed, you know, like, I get migraines, but it's like normally a couple times a year. Those bad ones where you got to go to sleep or you got to like just turn off all the lights because you're done. I've been getting them regularly, like weekly, several times a week lately, and that's not normal. And then obviously, like I mentioned before, neglect of personal needs. Haircut, can't find time to go get it. Can't even go outside my house to like go eat, right? Stage 3 they call chronic stress, right? Now this is where it gets a little strange, right? So you got persistent tiredness. I don't know what the difference between excessive exhaustion is and persistent tiredness, like whatever.
No amount of sleep can fix the
problem. Listen, if you know, you know.
Yeah, so, you know, procrastination, I know that's a big one. Resentfulness, social withdrawal, aggressive behavior. I should have put a check mark next to aggressive behavior. So, but anyway, apathy, chronic exhaustion, cynical attitude, decreased sexual desire, denial of problems, feeling threatened, feeling pressured. And then the big one is drug and alcohol consumption. And I knew before I even like found these that some was going to be somewhere on that list, which was the whole reason I wanted to do this talk, is that, you know, cybersecurity people in the industry dealing with such high rates of burnout, like what are the numbers on drug and alcohol consumption? Crypto Derp, you say you know, right? Yeah, I bet. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, and we'll get to that in a little bit, because I couldn't find the numbers that I was looking for, things that piqued my interest. But I've noticed procrastination, I put a check mark. It's not because I'm doing something else. It's literally because I'm doing something and I can't.
It's not. It's not the priority.
Yeah, so I guess it is procrastination, but it's not like I'm like at the beach, you know, hanging out and not doing what I'm supposed to do.
No, you're doing literally anything else that's on your task list, or you're doing nothing at all. There's no in between.
Yeah, and
I have a lot of those nights where like I should be doing something, Instead, I'm literally just like staring at the popcorn on my roof.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I fall into. I'm either doing everything or doing nothing.
YouTube black holes.
Yeah.
Not even that. Like I'll literally just be like sitting in my office, like hands on my keyboard, just fucking gone. Like
I've seen you do that before.
full on space cadet.
I've seen you do that before.
That's an ADHD thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Goals.
full on everything and then nothing.
Yeah.
Your
Process
brain
home.
says
I'm not there.
done.
Yeah.
For sure, cynical attitude. I've gotten very cynical at work. I've had to check myself. I've like, especially over this like week since the call with my boss, since this talk, like I've really had to like check myself. Like in meetings, like I said, hey, I have internet problems, so my camera's off, just so like if I blow my shit, like no one can see or hear me. Like I'm really like I'm teetering, and I'm a pretty chill person, like for the most part. Like, but I have been blowing my lid at everything. So. This one, the big one, burnout, right? So, during this process, I realized I may not be burnt out or burning out. I just may be on the road to it, right? The only ones that I really have on this list that I can identify as social isolation. I don't do anything except for come here and go to work. That's literally it. Thursday is the only time I'm not at the office or at home working. And then escapist activities, I mentioned that thought that I had. I noticed I've been playing more video games lately than I have in years. Like, I used to love video games, right? In my early 20s, mid-20s, I used to play them all the time. Lately, like, I find myself playing them more and more because it's the only thing that I can do besides, like, watching a movie that, like, shuts the brain off, right? But it is an escape, just like a lot of things. And then obviously neglect of personal needs is just like through the roof for me. But some of these other things, like self-doubt, obsession with problems, like pessimistic outlook, like I don't have those. Like I'm not doubting my ability. In fact, I probably overhype myself up in my mind. Like I'm better than I actually am. So like that's not a problem. So I don't know if I qualify as hitting burnout right now.
What's weird about that, between that description that you initially read from the World Xi Jinping organization and like these 4 stages, like if I read that description from the WHO, I'd be like, yeah, no, that's not me. Like I can sit down and really get down with hacking. I love hacking. Yeah. But I've looked at all 4 of these stages and like I can check off like on stage 4 right there, like right. 4 or 5 of those, even like. I'd say 6 or 7, no fucking problem.
More than you want to admit.
Yeah. And so like I think a lot of what I read online for
I guess they were onto something.
Yeah, like a lot of what I read is like it's geared towards like you're dissatisfied with the work that you do or the job that you have, and like for me that's not necessarily the case. I love everything I'm doing, I just do too much of it, and that's a lot of it's on me, like taking on too many things, thinking in my mind, so I overpromise and underdeliver, thinking that I can get it done, thinking that like, oh yeah, I can do this and do that. So a lot of it's on me, not necessarily my job. However, we'll get to that in a second. And then there's, apparently there's a level up from burnout. So if you're in burnout, if you want to go to the next level, you go to being a habitual burnout, which chronic sadness just sounds very sad. In fact, like, I mean, chronic sadness is like the saddest thing that I've ever heard. Like,
compromised.
Yeah, sad but compromised, exactly.
Sad and compromised.
Yeah, and that's the like, chronic. Like, I really wanted to listen to like Dr. Dre's album after doing like this talk. I started like listening to it on iTunes because of all the use of the word chronic. But so yeah, habitual burnout, like, honestly, burnout stage 4 seems more threatening than habitual burnout. I mean, I can deal with being sad, mental fatigue, physical fatigue, depression, whatever, but this escapist activities, gastrointestinal problems like headaches, drug and alcohol consumption at stage 3, like that's the shit that really scares me, right? Because I cannot afford to have any of that kind of stuff go on with me. And neither can anybody else. And I'm not trying to preach anything, but I do know that alcohol and drugs, the reason why people start to become addicted and have problems with substance abuse problems is because they are self-medicating, and like at its core, that's all addiction is, right? You're in pain, either physical or emotional. You don't want to be in pain, obviously, so you do something about the pain. And for a while, it helps. Sex addicts, it helps. Gambling, it helps. Drugs, it helps. But then after a while, those original problems are still there, and then you got a ton more
And
problems.
then it's
right?
the priority.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it's not a young person's thing necessarily. Like, I didn't drink or do drugs until I was over 21. Until I was a full-blown adult before I got drunk for, like, the first time, right? I had all this run-in with my issues when I was in my mid to late 20s. So it can, like, happen at any time. And so if people are going through burnout or just, we'll call it chronic stress, smoking weed and drinking and all of that is great and fine, but when you start to do it to get away or relieve all of that stress is when you really start to like run the risk of turning that into a habit. And then eventually there's stronger medicines out there that can help alleviate those things, and they lead to some pretty nasty stuff. But so we looked at some of the symptoms, right? And this is a very long list, but this is what made me think about, like, reevaluate my job and my work. I'm in a pickle because I had a really good year for them last year. I came to them, I asked them, I told them, I said, give me this number, and they gave it to me. And so, I'm very grateful for that. But, like,
Should have went higher.
I should have went higher, but like the external factors, they're talking about work, your external. High work demands, check. Problems with leadership and collaboration, huge check. Contradictory instructions, double check. Time pressure, triple check. Lack of organizational influence, check. Poor internal communication, check, check, check. The list goes on. And that's all my work. That has nothing to do with me.
That's factors you can't control.
That's a daily constant thing, right? Now,
I feel a lot of that too.
yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people do, right? Now that's stuff that I can't necessarily control. I mean, I can control it in the fact that, I don't have to work there, right? I mean, it's funny because, I'll say, like, crypto derp, like, we were talking a while ago, and we were talking about the importance of, like, environment of where you work and, like, how important that is. I know a lot of it's a two-pronged thing for me. If I just worked at this place that had all of these problems, and I went home to, a significant other or my life or whatever, and I chilled out, like,
Went to bowling league.
yeah, I think it'd be fine, right? But I've got this other side that has a side company that has clients and projects and
Its
things
own
that
time
I'm
constraints.
yeah, its own thing. So when I get the factor of both of those things mixing, plus, you have to live life. That's where it's like getting very hard for me to like maintain, right?
A lot of that's tied into these internal factors.
Well,
you
yeah,
have,
and
too.
these internal factors, that's why I wanted to show this. Like, this is all shit dealing with me. This is not work, right?
Oh,
And-
that second one, you need like a big golden check, bold
Oh, dude.
underline, like
Yeah, like this, they're saying the internal factors of burnout, like, all of this is me to a T, like, and then some. I definitely feel irreplaceable, right? Like, I'm like the greatest of all time, like, in my head at my job and what I need, right? So, like, all of these things, these are the things that I can work on from a factor sense, right? Like, I don't have to put as much pressure on myself. I'm suppressing my own needs. I really need to, like, take care of myself and do that sort of work, force myself. And then work as a substitute for social life, that's like 100% me, right? So
yeah, you've actually literally said that to me before. You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't have a social life. I like work, so I go home and work.
Yeah, which is not untrue, but I'm at a point where I have to really scale back, which then, John, that's why, I'm probably not going to do St. Pete.
I'm looking at
B-sides.
this like, fuck, should I?
Well, and it's,
I'm being honest, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I just started a new job, I'm getting married in December.
right.
I've got the Temple, I've got B-side St. Pete, I've got like 3 DFR reports due for Weird. I'm like, fuck.
No, I mean, it's a very real thing to think about. Like, and I'm telling you, this thing crept up on me. Like, I'm not going to say it was like in my head. Like, I started doing this research and then I became a hypochondriac and I'm like, oh, I'm in burnout. Like, no, like, it just opened my eyes to things that I was already feeling. Like, why am I so tired? Why don't I want to go do anything? Why, if I have a few hours to myself, am I just like curled up in a ball in my bed, right? Like, and this stuff kind of like at least started pointing me in the right direction.
It's easier to notice in others than it is in yourself.
Big time.
And I know I do that a lot, where I'll neglect my own needs or I won't address these issues or thoughts with myself, but I very much do for others. And I know you've even seen it, like I talk to you a certain way, I text you a certain way and reassure and say certain things because I know they're what you need. They're what you need to hear, but I don't get them myself. I don't always hear them myself either. So it's one of those things where, like, if I know that would have helped me, maybe it'll help those around me.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, like a certain psychologist that I follow that a lot of people dislike. One of his rules for life is treat yourself like somebody that you've been tasked out to help. Like if you've got a buddy who's on the up and up, or you got a buddy who's sleeping on your couch because he just got divorced, it's a lot easier to talk to that person to help them get their life back up.
For sure.
And a lot of the advice that you give them might apply to you.
Yeah.
And it seems so obvious. This is the fattest I've ever been in my life. It's like this is the least in shape I've ever been in my life. But I'll talk to somebody about going to the gym and building their own workout plan because that's stuff I know. And then I look at myself and I'm like, wait, why aren't I doing that?
Yeah.
My
No, this is
garage
very true.
is always there.
It takes me like 20 minutes to get to your house.
It'll take you like 20 minutes to get to the closest gym.
It takes me 5 minutes to get to any time. I've been going for the second week in a row. I'll show you my gym book, motherfucker.
So yeah, I didn't want to like leave without coming up with some solutions too. I just don't want to like be like all this doom and gloom and make you like double think your life and like check yourself into a mental hospital because you're going through burnout.
Before you get into the good,
I'm
though,
texting Laura. I'm like, I
before
think
you get
I'm
into the
fucked.
good though, no, like that needs to be addressed because these
Yeah.
are things like you didn't see them in yourself,
Big time.
and if that's the case with you, it's got to be with someone else that's listening where they're like, yeah, I'm feeling all of these things, but I didn't realize it, or I don't know why I'm feeling these things or what's going on.
Yeah.
Because everyone's lives are different. There's a lot of factors where like I feel a lot of the same things that you're going through, but I have like the additional stresses and time constraints of 3 kids.
Yeah,
My
I know.
wife,
I can't even
running
imagine.
this group, and it's like
Yeah.
I will very much find myself prioritizing like, okay, do I eat lunch today or do I take a shower?
Yeah. That's you, me, and Tremere, dude.
No, some days it's not even the shower, and I'll forget to eat. I'll just hop in the pool real
Yeah.
quick. Like, I'll go swim with my kids. So I'm like, cool. I get my kid time in. Like,
Yeah.
there's
And I
chlorine in
got
the
a
pool,
shower.
so I'm good.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, dude, like
But-
you, me, and Tremere were just talking about that.
there's a lot of stuff like us saying this out loud can be helpful in someone if someone else recognizes it or sees an issue or sees that it's leading to a bigger problem that is somewhere in that addiction spectrum.
Yeah.
It's helpful. So like, is it doom and gloom a little bit? Yes, but it's worth saying. It needs to be out there.
I mean, I imagine it's probably a lot like being an addict and like it's one thing to kind of in fleeting moment think like, maybe I have a problem, but it's another thing I imagine to literally say it, because the moment you say it, it becomes real.
Yeah, and they talk about everything, but they talked about like denial. Like I don't know why anybody would really be in denial of being burnt out, right? I mean, I guess actually no, that's not
Bravado.
true. It's like what I said. It's what I said in the beginning, right? Like my perception of burnout is that you failed, you suck, you couldn't hack it, right? So obviously, if you could think that of yourself, but it's not true, right? Like it's not something to be like ashamed of. It's not something that makes you weak. It doesn't mean that you're not a hard worker, that you don't have an amazing work ethic. It doesn't mean any of that stuff. It just means literally that you're prioritizing work over everything else, and eventually it's going to catch up with you in relationships and health and a lot of different things, right? So it's good to get a hold on it right now. And I know these are super obvious, but apparently these are the best ones. Like, for me, the two that really kind of stand out are boundaries. And when I mean boundaries, I mean like somebody comes to me with a project. It's an amazing project. It's for a good cause. Like, I want to help. I want to be a part of cool things. So I say yes when I really should say no, because I have no room on my plate or on that second plate, and maybe a little bit of room on that baby like cake plate that I have, but not really. So those type of boundaries of project work, and also like the fear of missing out, right? For so long, like I struggled with having these projects, like people coming to me for videos or logos or any of this. Like I struggled to go out and get that business, and now
A missed opportunities, a missed lead.
It's like, oh, sure, I had like 6 people come to me for jobs this month, but what about next month? It's going to be 0. So I have to take the 7th job this month, and then come to find out, like, it was 8 the next month, right? But that fear of saying no to business is what's kept me saying yes, along with just wanting to help out where I can. And that's something that I absolutely have to not do. And it's not because I don't want to, it's just because I can't. I have to be very choosy about the side projects I take on. Because don't get me wrong, I don't get to do artwork and logos and videos at work, right? I get to design software, which is
Make
fun.
fancy squares.
Yeah, but like, come on, like really, like I love doing this stuff, but for the sake of the quality of work and my mental health, I'm gonna have to probably like shut a lot of it down, except for like things like the temple, but other things like that.
Joe, I remember Joy was talking to you and me about this back at the old place, and she talked about how a lot of entrepreneurs would really struggle to get out of startup mode. Like their thing's off the ground, the startup has started, like it's succeeded. They're past the first 2 years, but they still have that FOMO, like that fear of missing out of like, if I don't take this,
I can't pay my people.
I can't do my thing. I'm gonna fail.
Yeah.
Like I'm turning down work, and that's gonna be why I fail.
Yeah.
And like that literally just jumped into my mind, because it's kind of true. Like I've got this huge FOMO, both like with my career and with the temple, that if I don't say yes to this thing, and I'll figure it out down the road, then everything that I'm working on, all of my dreams are just going to fail, and it's going to be my fault because I didn't work hard enough.
Yeah, no, and this is the same exact feeling that I feel, right? But I've since, I had this talk put on the schedule, and since I kind of realized all this stuff until, this very moment, I've had the opportunity to jump on some branding logo calls. And, I told them, yes, I want to do it, but realistically, I'm not going to be able to get to it till like September, October. And I know that's not going to work for you, but I have to like space out my projects. I have to take breaks in between. And it felt weird. I'll be honest, like it felt super weird to like turn down work. I even couldn't just flat say no. I had to be like, oh yeah, I could do it, but like 6 months from now. Like didn't have the balls to just be like, no. Yeah. So I'm getting there, but like it's tough. The other one for me is self-care. Obviously, I need to shave, tomorrow. Get a haircut, get more than 4 hours of sleep. Go to the grocery store. I haven't been in a grocery store in like 6 months. Like that's real shit. Like it's like gas stations and Uber Eats. Like that's my life. So
That's why you feel like shit.
yeah, exactly. No, it's a whole spectrum of things, right? But a lot of this stuff is very important, like breaks. Does anybody here, like when they're working, do they make themselves take breaks?
Yes.
Yeah.
I work out. I moved that in my break.
Well, that's good. That's you're hitting like double, right?
Yeah.
You take
Stress
breaks?
release there.
Oh
Yeah.
that's one of the things that one of the reasons I changed careers.
Yeah.
I mean, two of the things up there, self-care and boundaries, are probably the two most important things up there.
Yeah.
Two of the hardest things to learn.
Hardest things to get disciplined about,
Yeah.
and to really admit that you have to be disciplined about it, because it almost feels like you're not working hard enough or working as hard as everybody else because you're taking a break or you're taking time for yourself, or and self-care can be just learning new things or just doing absolutely nothing. Go sit and have a drink or do nothing. Stare at the popcorn in the ceiling.
Yeah.
You know, that can be.
I would like to say I do that on purpose.
Yeah. And boundaries, saying no, and what you were talking about with not being able to say no yet, but saying 6 months.
Yeah.
That's the same
It's
thing.
a start, right?
Well, that's actually better to me. That's actually better than saying no, because you're saying sure, but not right now.
Yeah.
That's you're at least setting that boundary.
Yeah.
And for me, it was on call 24/7 pretty much. It was
that's rough.
I was really good at what I did, and that's what made me burn out at what I was doing, because everybody was calling me. Everybody was they were sending me to other countries to learn their stuff, their techniques, so that I could use it here in the Southeast U.S.
Did you ever have a fear of, like, if you didn't slow down, that then all of a sudden those calls would stop, like, and you wouldn't be in?
Yeah, they'd find somebody else,
right?
And then it would start relying on that person,
right?
And somebody else was just as good as me,
right?
And that's what that fear was. Is hey, they might find somebody else that's just as good, and then I'll lose all of that other stuff.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember what it was that made me finally flip the switch, but it had been a switch that I'd tried to flip for years. It's like this is the field that I wanted to get into, but people just kept offering more money and more money, and then of course more time, and more was expected. And then I just finally, after the last time, I said, okay, that's it. And I took an entire year off. I had to, from all of that, I had to take an entire year off. So I spent almost everything I had saved up.
When we first met you at the Hack UC, where was that at in that year?
That was just a few months in, right?
I was not working.
So you were just taking
your
time.
I had finished, done with that field, and I said, I'm either going to be flipping burgers or doing what I want. I'm done with that. There was no time. I had no personal life.
Yeah.
And so I learning how to schedule time for yourself, and just as important as work, was what really changed my life. And people that know me now, and in fact my girlfriend's even like, how do you put up with me? I'm so harebrained, and so so everything is so stressful around me, but you're always so calm. Well, it's because I've learned how to set boundaries and learn how to do that self-care, and plus working in a field that you love. This is a hobby too. So that self-care and boundaries are probably the two most important things.
That's great.
To avoid burnout.
Battery up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're on that one.
So does anybody else, while Chris is changing the battery out, want to weep and moan and bitch about their burnout?
So
since we're doing therapy group here.
So they're like, I put a
safe place.
I put a question out there to everyone, and maybe as you talk, you can help answer this. Like, so what are some of the ways y'all actually take care of yourselves or help stay on track?
Yeah,
because you might have something that nobody else has thought of doing.
Yeah, I know for me, like one of the big issues that I ran into is like not coming to the realization that there's like 24 hours in a day. And when you start to look at yourself and kind of break it down and understand you only get 24 hours in a day. So, you're working like 8 hours a day, and when things start to become blurry in regards to like time allocation, that's where you realize, I haven't had any time for myself. And that's what I've made like a priority, at least in my life, is like I make sure I have like an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours a day to just work on myself, self-study or play some video games, because like I have kids, and like after they're asleep, I'm like, all right, I got like 2 hours to like do something, and always make sure that you look at time, because time is fleeting,
Yeah.
Now that I think about it,
resource.
like the last time I think I made time for myself was when me and Fedora Man went to go see John Wick 4.
That was great. That
right?
literally was the last time I've done anything social.
That was the last time, like...
It was so
have to say,
Cochise might be going away for a little bit,
Yeah.
folks.
the one thing that I haven't been able to do yet is actually
Go see John Wick 4?
Well, no,
Well, yeah.
no, but like
It starts streaming into this week.
spend time with friends.
Yeah.
Like actually have a group of friends to spend time with. 'Cause it's either my daughters or girlfriend or work or myself. And I really that's the final piece I think that I haven't quite put in place yet. Is
Yeah.
that friends, that network of people to hang out with.
Because I see where we all stand here now.
Oh yeah,
That's why I'm here every
we're
Thursday.
we're secondary.
No. Like you know what I mean. Like actually go and do something.
What about you, Jose?
Go to a chess club or something.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, that's true. He
Yeah.
does, in fact, do drugs.
Yeah, it's the best way through, for sure.
Chess club.
It reminds me of that Marilyn Manson song, I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me.
Yeah. Or we're all stars in the dope show.
Yeah.
I like
All right,
everybody.
who else wants to bitch?
Has anybody gone through what they would consider like a burnout phase or anything like that? Yeah.
Now that you bring it
I know
up,
Jay. Yeah.
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 I mean-
sorry to interrupt.
No.
Honestly, like now that you say it, I mean, you know, I've worked at a bar for a long time, so drinking has become pretty normal for me. You know, even through this last couple months, you know, I've done a lot of things and I've had a lot to celebrate, but I don't feel like I'm burning out. But when you mention that and how slippery that can be, you know, like I'm looking at my week and I'm like, wow, I've had a drink like every day, and I started Sunday being like, oh, I'll take it easy this week. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I try to do things like exercise, super important to me. If I don't go a couple days, you know, I feel like I'm at least putting myself in a good position. But at the same time, you know, when you look at a person or what you would assume is a healthy person, and I'm still, you know, I have 2 jobs. I'm about to take on another, like my first security type. Not
Do you
necessarily.
have family?
consulting.
Are you married? Have kids?
I'm married,
Yeah.
so I'm lucky because she's super important in my life, keeps me down to earth.
Yeah.
Vacations are very important to her. She's well traveled. So I'm super thankful for that because she keeps that front of mind. Because if not that, like I worked through my whole 20s at a restaurant,
Right.
like doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like looking back, I'm like I didn't do anything. So the fact that you're bringing this up is, I think it's super important to focus on these things because even if you're not checking all the check marks, if you're checking half, as I'm doing the tallies in my head, I'm like,
Still, you know, yeah, it's alarming, right? Like it's something
I'm
to
doing
think about.
some,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm, you know, I could definitely do way better, and you know, we're all on that line of okay, how long can I say 50-50 before I start to creep to 60-40, before
Yeah.
I start to creep to 70-30, and even when you're saying, you know, why are we doing this to ourselves? Yeah, I'm trying to fight the machismo. I'm not even the most like mannish person I know, but even I'm trying to convince myself that, oh, I'm not burning out. You know what I mean? I'm totally agree with what you're saying. I think we should all.
This will pass. Let's get.
Yeah,
through the
this will
next 2
pass.
weeks.
Keep
Yeah.
going. You know.
And a lot of times it does, but it, you know, then it comes back with a vengeance, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
just listen to me say enough. Like, I just gotta get through B-Sides Tampa. Just gotta get
I
through
know.
B-Sides
Yeah.
Tampa.
But
No,
it's
I
every-
just gotta get through B-Sides St. Pete.
Yeah, exactly, and it keeps going. We just got to get through DEF CON, and then
Yeah.
you just got to get through the end of the year, and then all of a sudden, like, yeah, I mean, it's a never-ending.
Can I ask a question to the guild and everybody at home? The V guild, if you will, the virtual guild. For those of you that are in relationships or married, have you ever encountered a point like through that burnout where you feel like that relationship or that marriage is just another job that you have to do instead of something that brings you joy?
Previously.
Yeah, previously, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. It's one. That's my worst.
Yeah.
With the marriage, no. With the kids, yeah. And it wasn't necessarily like them. It was everything that kids entail.
Yeah.
Like, as you know how we are, we're super active. We're always doing something. My kids are in 3 or 4 sports at a time.
Like you
And
and I
I
have
have
had
3, so
meetings
like-
at lacrosse practice.
Yeah, I was literally,
Like-
I would take phone calls and stuff, like lining up speakers, doing things like while I'm coaching my kids, like at the same time, like I was constantly rolling. So like that stuff, yeah, there was no fun in that anymore. That's why I'm not coaching for the last few months. I was like, I've got to back off of all of that. But with Tiff, that's actually probably the only reason I haven't went up in a ball of flames yet, is she manages my life.
Having 6 kids will do that to you.
Right?
Well, and that's kind of like the catch-22, right? Is like significant others indispensable in the fact that they can keep you on track. You can work as a team towards not letting the other person slip. But then at the same time, if that's not in sync, then it becomes extra burden, like extra issues, right? So, I mean, it's like that fine line between right person, right personalities, who's going to keep who on track, both going to keep who on track. Yeah, it's a conundrum. My marriage was terrible, so I can't really relate to any of that shit, so. But yeah, I think that's pretty much so with that.
On that note.
Yeah, so basically at the end of the day, do your work, but do it the healthy way. That's what I've got for you. And then just remember, throwing it out there, I do like Blue Monster energy drinks. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
HP on that one was 420.
Yeah, I was just, you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if we've got any questions
Oh,
here.
actually, I did Crypto Derp. You want to talk to us a little bit about
Junkies and drugs.
yeah, junkies. You want to talk to us about junkies and cybersecurity? Yeah.
And drugs are an incredible coping mechanism that are used, and depending on where you fall on that giant checklist, you either go up or down. Drinking is huge. If anyone's ever gone to a con of any kind,
Yeah, massive.
real estate and hackers, you never go to a party. In fact, it's a thing at DEF CON. If you get in line to go to the bar while talking to others and networking, get your drink, you get back in line so you can continue drinking while you're talking.
Fucking crazy.
That's kind of the coke thing. And then, obviously, all the cocaine things that are out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People like to ski.
All of the uppers.
Yeah.
All of the uppers. And it's, I would say at least 70% of the people that I've worked with or talked to through every measure in every country go either up or down.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people who just stay sober who do this.
Yeah.
It's kind of incredible because even like people who have extra issues with it, being LGBTQ plus issues as well on top of burnout,
Sure.
and then they're coping. And one thing you've missed in the entire slide thing is suicidal ideation and action.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it's the ultimate, right? Like when you start having all of those things, like there's only another place to go if you keep on continuing, right? Yeah, it's very true.
Drinking and all that doesn't actually work well.
No.
And when you're doing the steps and then you're just drinking while doing the steps and then getting burned out and drunk,
Yeah.
you end up hanging.
Yeah.
It's kind of where all the people I know went.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's and it doesn't surprise me because like, you know, I don't have the skill set that you all have, right? But
Teachers get burned out.
yeah, I mean, everybody gets burned out, but I don't know. I think of you guys as like, I think of everything that you do is just like so like critical. It's like so like end game type shit. It's like you fail and people get hurt. I mean, you know, not literally, but like shit gets stolen, people get hurt. China steals IP if you guys don't do your job, right?
Only 2 people who know that importance out of all the people who are making you do your job, out of the hundreds of people who are saying you must have this done, you are the protector, 2 of those people out of those hundreds know that importance and are pushing that importance, or everyone's misunderstanding the importance and telling you that you're the most important person in the room, but you're also
You're not a value add.
Yeah.
You're a cost to the
You
company.
don't produce anything.
You don't get a budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately? Well,
Yeah.
You haven't been popped. You haven't been ransomed. You haven't had an APT on you that's cost you $7 million with booze.
That's me doing shit for you. Yeah. Yeah.
It's working, and they're like, well,
But what deals did you close?
what customers you've brought in? Why are you not adding?
Yeah. So I mean, even like just that sentiment to where like you're doing your job, your company's safe, you're protecting the fortress, yet you still have to worry about, hey, am I going to get the budget that I need to get the team that I need because I'm crucial. Like even that amount of stress, like, and like you said it earlier, right? Like when the economy's booming, tech is great, but it's the first thing to start going when things are not looking so hot, right? Tech and IT. So that just right there is a lot of stress on top of what you guys all already do.
But it's a great help for burnout. One of the great,
What, drugs? Yeah.
well, that layoffs. Where we are now, layoffs are a great ender of burnout.
It's very
Because
true.
if you are, you're
It's a
burned out
forced
as all
break.
get out,
Yeah.
and it's cold turkey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because all
Yeah, I
the
got to get
things
my
are
shit
there,
together. Yeah.
And you're just stuck there, and you literally can't go get a fix because they're all gone.
Yeah.
Person you're just in that codependent relationship, let's say, get out.
Yeah.
So now your burnout's just stuck. You're in this weird fixation of, I can't do these things I was doing before.
Yeah.
You start ruminating on what you should be doing. And
Yeah, it could have been the best thing that could ever happen. No, I
Except now
totally.
you're pissing your pants because you're like, well, I mean, it's not like I can take a vacation to Switzerland now.
Yeah.
Now I need to go find somebody else that I have to be codependent with. It's kind of weird, like looking at a lot of, like I look at college students at like UT, HCC, USF, and how excited they are to enter the like cybersecurity industry.
Which is
And
good.
it's like,
I'm happy.
Oh my
Yeah.
child.
No, I mean, I thought about that too. Like, just in the temple, I won't say names, but like, I can think of like 7 people that like I would consider to be potential like superstars, like because they're so young and because of what they're doing, like this far in their career, like if they keep on that path, like they
Yeah,
can
they're light
do
years ahead of where we
huge
were
shit.
at that age.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I look at like what age I am and compared to what age they are, and what they're doing and what they have before them, and it's nothing but like blue skies, except if they don't.
Pitfalls.
Yeah, pitfalls, and I'm telling you, and it's weird. This is for all the younger people, and I'm gonna sound like a grandpa, and it's stupid. And you're not gonna listen to me because you're just not going to. So I don't even know why I'm saying it. But I'm telling you, like, the days of working like 24 hours straight, partying, going to work, like all of that stuff, like when
It'll abruptly end.
when you get to be where I'm at in the mid 30s and I'm in my late 30s, like it's not possible anymore. Yeah. So, get it in now while you can, but just know that like if you're kind of figuring out your rhythm and really getting your machine well oiled so that you can ramp up and do it. Like as far as like your career, like I'm thinking about like your career and your personal brand is this like well oiled machine and fine tuning and all of that. If this party work, play hard, work hard lifestyle works for you now, just be agile as you get older because it's not going to work forever, right? Yeah.
And you can get in the habit. They're going to have it so easy, though. That's one thing I see with them growing up. Just take Hack the Box. Early
Yeah.
days,
Such a great.
You had to hack in, complete a weird puzzle to get just a
Nobody remembers.
I do.
Nobody remembers. Yeah, you had to.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
No,
Hack your way to hack the box.
no, they got rid of the timing challenge 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you used to have to earn your way to hack the box.
I got him like 3 years ago, like not that long ago.
Yeah.
Well, the thing a lot of people don't realize, Hack the Box as a platform's only been around about 5 years.
That's crazy. Seems such like a legacy
It's
thing.
like
Yeah.
it's brand new still.
Yeah.
It's the only way. It's the only thing that's out there. I mean, when they put it together, it's the only platform that's viable. Even on its worst day and its shittiest day and its worst rating times, and every single person's on there and it's total crap. It's
Still.
the only thing out there because you try to get Bonehub or any of the other ones that tried to get traction, they're terrible. They're either
Try hack me.
They're either ridiculously easy or they fail. And so the future for them is pretty bright.
What-
Probably they can get burned out because they're going to have higher expectations.
Yeah, they'll have different set of issues than we did, whereas we were kind of like the figure it out generation. Now they're gonna have to take it to another level. But what's nice and what's interesting is they have something now we don't, as long as they realize it and utilize it correctly. They have us. They have a group. You guys have people around you now that actually care, and like we went through the craziness, so we're trying to give back. And you have people to lean on there, and a lot of experience. And those pitfalls you were talking about earlier, we've all seen them. We see them now. Everyone knows those companies that are puppy mills. And some of you sitting there, you've heard us say, avoid X, avoid Y. You don't want to work there. As long as you, Yeah, as long as they do their diligence, look into who they get hired on with, and keep that pace, and listen to your elders, people. Y'all can avoid this a lot further than we did. So I think you're right. They're in a much better space. It's whether or not they take advantage of it.
You are listening to the Neon Temple Bitchin' Power Hour.
Well, I think, yeah, I was gonna say, unless there's
We're at
any
time,
other
I think,
questions,
honestly.
like we can probably just wrap it up.
Nah,
I don't
there's
really
none in
have
there.
I'm
anything
not
else to
hearing
say.
any other questions, comments, concerns, manifestos.
Cool.
No? Okay. Chris, I think we're done, man.
Awesome. Well, great. Yeah, I appreciate you guys letting me kind of like vent a little bit, and
Thank you.
I need to go do
hopefully,
some thinking about my life.
you know, yeah.
Something that
Hopefully you get
everybody-
your shit together because of me, and then I'll feel better.
It's one of those topics that everybody relates to.
Yeah.
We'll see.